Capricorn, you build what others only talk about. This week checks your beams and bolts. Picture walking your site with a flashlight before dawn. Solid structure in view. Fog thick, ground damp. You know where you're going, but every step asks for care. The sky pushes you from performance to principle, from looking strong to being sound. Let's walk it together. You're an earth sign that builds what others only talk about. This week checks your beams and bolts. Imagine walking your site with a flashlight before dawn. You see the outline of a solid structure, but the fog is thick and the ground is damp. You know where you're going, yet every step asks for care. That is the feeling of this week for you. The spotlight shifts from private repairs and shared finances to beliefs, plans, publishing, travel, and the rules that govern your life. The tone is serious, not harsh, exacting, not cruel. If you adjust early, you lead. If you ignore the signs, pressure rises. The sky pushes you to move from performance to principle, from looking strong to being sound. In the background, your sense of self is under deep renovation. Pluto is retrograde in your sign, and that pulls you inward to edit identity, posture, and power. You may feel quieter on the outside and stronger on the inside. That is good. The voice that used to rush to explain is learning to say less, with more weight. If you feel your body holding tension in the jaw, neck, or lower back, that is part of this rebuild. It's not weakness, it's scaffolding noise. Treat your body like a tool you respect. A clear bedtime, a real meal, and 10 minutes off the screen do more for your results than another late-night email. Money and voice sit on a live wire. Rahu, the North Node, is in the zone of earnings and speech, tempting you to say more, buy more, prove more. Across from it, Ketu, the South Node, sits with Venus in the zone of shared resources and secrets. Venus here is conjunct a purifier. That is a red flag for leaks in joint accounts, messy reimbursements, unclaimed taxes, vague insurance, or private spending that doesn't match the story. It's also a truth serum for intimacy. Some of you will discover a financial detail a partner forgot to mention, or an expense trail that tells a story the mouth did not. If you've been the one delaying disclosures, expect a mirror. Worst case, an account gets frozen or a claim is rejected because a form is wrong. Best case, you do a clean audit, close the small holes, and protect what you've built. Speak plainly, put numbers in writing. Your tone, calm, factual, brief, will be more valuable than a raise. Communication, paperwork, and learning are the pressure points where tests arrive. Saturn is retrograde and standing with Neptune, and across from them, the Sun and Mercury move through Virgo. Think of headlights and fog on a road with speed bumps. Mercury is exalted, so the thinking can be brilliant, but Mercury is also combust, so it runs hot. That is a risky combination for emails, briefs, and publishing. Smart ideas that get distorted by hurry. This is where major mistakes happen if you dash. A wrong attachment, an unvetted claim, a copied paragraph that trips a plagiarism scanner, a visa file sent without the quiet little document nobody told you about. It doesn't mean disaster is certain. It means caution is power. The ones who slow down beat the ones who race. If you manage a team, rewrite the done checklist so interns and seniors share the same definition. If you're in school or in a certification sprint, expect edits and repeat submissions. They're not insults, they're guardrails. Career and public image carry heat and potential. Mars is in Libra and aims at your status and leadership. This is drive with one foot on the gas and one on the brake energy. You want the win, but the route keeps shifting, and older structures and rules cross-check your moves. You'll notice this in approvals, compliance, brand tone, legal, or audit. Push with grace. The loudest voice will not win. The most adaptable plan will. If you're in a shaky unit with unclear numbers, know this: some of you will face a performance plan or a roll cut, especially where paper trails are thin and deadlines were missed earlier in the quarter. If you lead, look at your org like a chessboard. Remove a bottleneck. Don't blame the pawn. There is also upside. Jupiter supports your profession from the zone of service and routine. People who teach, document, and coach under pressure will get noticed. If you clean the pipeline, you become the pipeline. Relationships walk a full arc, from negotiation to bonding to deep conversations about trust and money, and finally, to what do we believe we're building together. With Venus conjoined K2 in the private zones, romance prefers honesty over show. If you've been performing affection for the crowd, the energy here strips stage lights and asks for quiet truth. Some of you will learn about a DM you were not told about, or a memory you didn't share that now matters. Not everyone will face betrayal, but the risk is higher this week where secrecy has a history. Sit down, put phones aside, and ask direct questions. If you're ready to leave, leave clean. If you're ready to repair, choose one behavior to change, not 10 speeches. In business partnerships, contracts and scopes must match reality. The tense angles between Mars and Saturn can snap a deal that runs on wishful thinking. Better a sharp renegotiation than a slow bleed. Creativity, children, and risk-taking want a new method. Uranus is retrograde in the zone of joy and invention, and Mars presses it from a different angle. That translates as this: the tool needs an upgrade. If you're a creator, change software, switch your workflow, or alter your release cadence. If you're a parent, schedules will shift and kids will spring a surprise that forces a new routine. If you trade for excitement, beware. The private matter vibes from Venus and Ketu are not friendly to high beta gambles done for ego. Lower leverage, keep stops hard. If you lead a product or a brand, move from splash to substance. Build features that save time, reduce friction, or protect privacy. The applause you lose in the short term is reputation you gain in the long. Workload and health are bigger than usual. Jupiter expands queues, tickets, and responsibilities in the daily grind zone. The good news is that it also expands your capacity to learn and systematize. The trap is caffeine and guilt replacing boundaries and rest. Burnout is a real risk as the light thins before the eclipse. Anxiety spikes when you try to think your way out of a problem that needs a boundary. The simplest moves will help. A walk after a meeting to reset your nervous system. Food that doesn't come in a crinkly bag. A real stop time, 2 nights this week. You know how to carry weight. You're learning how to put it down without asking permission. If your body flags you with pain or a sudden dip in energy, don't bulldoze. That's not softness. That's intelligent asset protection. Home, land, and the deep emotional base feel the ripple effects of your public push. Mars and Pluto both angle into domestic matters. Repairs you've postponed ask to be scheduled. A vehicle or appliance may force your hand. If you support a parent or elder, expect a week where logistics take time. Hospital admin, insurance, or a medical file might need attention. Not every Capricorn rising will face a health scare at home, but watch for the sign. 3 small irritations in one day mean the system is asking for a reset. If you work from home, fix the chair, raise the screen, change the lighting. Your spine is not negotiable. This is the kind of week where an hour of setup saves a month of pain. Networks and gains run on alliances, not clout. Mars rules your scale and sits in your public zone, which means the fastest path to results is to stand next to the right people doing the right thing, not to shout alone. If you rely on platforms, beware echo chambers. With Neptune blending into communication, a viral moment can also be a misunderstanding that burns time and trust. Mute a few accounts, prune a chat, invite one person who matters into a quieter room. Elder siblings or senior colleagues may be helpful but stretched. Respect their time, and ask a single, clear question. Sleep, solitude, and the foreign axis ask for soft walls. Jupiter and Saturn both touch the space where rest and expenses live. Long nights and loose subscriptions drain in equal measure. A few of you will discover a money leak so small you felt silly to look for it. Look anyway. And if you're abroad, remember that homesickness and jet lag magnify small conflicts. Wait a day before you send an angry message home. Isolation can be healing if chosen, brutal if imposed. If you feel lonely, small routine anchors will carry you. Same breakfast, same short walk, same 30-minute offline window. Now to the turning point that shapes the entire week. The Sun moves from Leo into Virgo and meets the Moon and Mercury there. Saturn stands across from them. Neptune stands beside Saturn. That is the eclipse. It lands in the zone of belief, education, travel, law, broadcasting, and the big story you tell yourself about who you are and where you're going. An eclipse is a reset. Lights dim, and a set change happens. For Capricorn rising, this is where the universe asks a simple, hard question. Do your daily choices match your stated principles? If yes, the road feels slow but steady. If no, expect a kink in the route. For some, a conference gets canceled, a visa timeline moves, a publication is delayed, a certification asks for more proof. For others, a mentor steps in and rewrites your paragraph into a sentence you'll never forget. It may sting, it will help. The hidden purpose is humility that doesn't humiliate. In plain life, you're being moved from "because I said so" to "because I can show it." That's your kind of spirituality. Work that holds up in daylight. The emotional undertone of the week moves from polish and charm to accountability to closure to a clean start wrapped in cooperation, and finally to expression that feels like yours again. You'll notice that rhythm without naming it. Early in the week, the mood favors aesthetics and presentation. Midweek, it's the exam. After that, something old burns off. Then a new note enters, quieter, focused on pairing with the right people. By the end, you feel the courage to speak simply, as if your breath and your words are finally in the same room. What could go wrong if you resist the message? Financially, hiding a small mistake can turn into a bigger penalty or a public embarrassment. In work, pushing without adjusting could lead to a loud failure that a softer pivot could have avoided. In love, performing closeness while avoiding a hard talk could invite the very distance you fear. In health, treating your body like a machine invites a mechanical breakdown. In belief, preaching what you can't practice will bring the consequence you secretly expect. This is not punishment, it's alignment. You asked for a life that matches your standards. The week brings the tools to build it. What could go right if you cooperate? Money becomes cleaner and simpler, and with that, your voice gets calmer. Work becomes teachable, and with that, your status grows. Love becomes quieter and truer, and with that, your nervous system unclenches. Home becomes functional, and with that, your ambition lasts. Your circle becomes smaller and better, and with that, your gains feel earned. Your sleep gets deeper, and with that, your days get sharper. And in the big picture, your plan becomes a path, not a poster. Capricorn rising, you don't need glitter to win this week. You need a level, a checklist, 2 honest conversations, and a promise kept to your body. If you're scared, it's because you care. If you feel pressure, it's because you're near the edge where potential becomes real. There is a simple line to carry with you. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. Use it once, not as a mantra, but as a rule of motion. This is a week to be more builder than brand, more proof than pose, more craft than clout. The eclipse doesn't erase you, it edits your draft. And when the lights return, the structure you've been raising all year looks closer to the vision you've had in your head. That's not luck. That's you, choosing principle over performance and winning the only way that lasts. Capricorn, this isn't punishment, it's alignment. Clean the leaks, slow the emails, fix the checklist, and keep the promise to your body. If this reading clarified your next move, tap like, share the one change you're making this week, and subscribe so you never miss what the sky is asking of you. Until next time, build steady, speak simply, and remember, proof beats pose.